we're about to get into massive earnings season. Did my camera just switch? I think my camera switched from like my phone. I don't know. Okay. But anyways, earnings season's here, folks. Okay. It is here. Now, before we get into some super important earnings that are happening this week, let me tell you about the earnings I'm looking personally most forward to this year, okay? Or not this year, but specifically this quarter over the next few weeks, okay? Meta, why am I looking so forward to Meta's earnings, okay? I want to see what the revenue numbers are. I want to see what the earnings per share numbers are. I'm really, really darn excited to see whatever Meta reports here. We do know now at this point in time they've done most of their employee cuts. I'm sure they've, still going to take some sort of cost, some negative cost in relation to that. So I'm sure that will hurt profitability at least a little bit. But I'm really, really excited to just see like what type of revenue, earnings per share numbers are we talking here with Meta, okay? Next stock I'm looking very forward to is Tesla. And I'm looking forward to three things with Tesla, okay? I'm looking forward to hearing what margins are. We know margins have been shrinking massively for Tesla for many quarters now at this point in time. And we want to see margins stabilize or start going up again. So really excited to hear whatever Tesla has to say on margins. Really excited for anything guidance-wise. And we know, Tesla put up an amazing quarter this past quarter in terms of deliveries, obviously. So I want to hear, do they expect that to continue? Do they see weakness in the business? If Elon's on the call, which hopefully he is, what does he have to say? And next thing you know is Cybertruck. Like, what are we talking for scaling Cybertruck? Like, are we thinking like this is going to scale in a major way, like Q3, Q4, Q1 2024, Q2 2024. So we need more detail on Cybertruck. We need something more than just, oh, it's coming. We need like some concrete, like here's how we're seeing this. This is the quarter I feel like they should give it. This is a conference call. I feel like they should do it. And so that's what I'm really looking for with Tesla. And I'm really excited to hopefully hear details around Cybertruck and kind of what's the game plan here for how fast ramp's going to go. Any vehicle target numbers, their goals are. If Elon's on the call, I want him to get into the nitty gritty there, okay? It's enough times passed. We're starting to see a lot of Cybertrucks on the road from Tesla employees and folks. Franz was recently driving one around. We've seen several videos in the past few weeks. The time has come to get more into detail here and say, hey, here's our game plan as far as this goes, okay? Next stock I'm looking very forward to that I own for this quarter is Palantir. Palantir, I really want to hear revenue and anything guidance-wise, right? We do know that Palantir is likely seeing an insane influx in customer interest in regards to their product, okay? We need to start seeing that play out in the numbers and obviously in terms of guidance for the rest of this year or future years. I want to hear what Karp has to say about long-term growth, given the changing environment and how much these companies are focused on, obviously, how much they're focused on AI. Are we talking about this company's going to go back to 30% plus growth a year? I want to hear, does Karp have an opinion on that? Because if we're talking about this is really an epic moment for AI, and we're talking about a company like Palantir that's supposed to have the best of breed product, then I'll tell you, damn it, we better get to that 30% plus revenue growth a quarter. That's where we need to get back to. If we really got it like that and the demand's really there for AI, that's what we should get back to. So I want an analyst to ask Karp on the call, what do you think about getting back to 30% plus growth? Do you think you could recommit to that? If that man says yes, it's a game changer for Palantir stock, I can tell you that. If he's talking about, yep, we're going back to 30% plus growth a year, huge for the company, especially with, obviously the company, being a profitable company now at this point in time, okay? Next stock I'm really looking forward to this earnings season. Obviously, I'm looking forward to all my stocks this earnings season, but next one is Cheesecake Factory. I really want to hear what's going on with margins and earnings per share. I'm expecting margins to be going up considerably on a year-over-year basis. I'm talking about several percentage points. So I want to see what happens with margins and how is it going to shift EPS, because that should help EPS in an absolutely epic way. So when it comes to cake, I'm looking very forward to that, okay? Cathie Wood just bought another, looks like $640,000 worth of Meta stock. She started buying the stock last month, and she's been basically loading up on millions and millions and millions of dollars of Meta stock, okay? Now, it's fascinating because obviously we know Meta's made this insane move, right, this year. I mean, Meta's one of the best stocks literally in the entire S&P 500 and the entire stock market in general this year. The performance for Meta stock has been nothing short of historic. So let's go ahead. Where's Meta at here? Meta. So Meta's performance year to date is 135%. And that's absolutely incredible. And obviously, if you were to go back to the lows of the fourth quarter, I mean, we're talking 230%, right? And so to just start buying the stock basically in June, when it was probably 280, 290 or so, and continue to buy it is a very interesting move. Now, okay, is it a good move? Okay, let me address that first. Like, is it a good move? Yes, it is actually a good move because Meta stock's likely on its way to 400 plus. But with that being said, I think she missed out on so much opportunity here. She seems a little late to the game. But as I say, it's better to be late than never, right? And that's kind of the situation with Meta stock. There's still a long way to go here in the short term and over the next many years. So, ultimately, she's going to end up making money on these shares as long as she doesn't sell it at some bad price or something like that and freak out in the short term. She should make a lot of money on Meta stock. But she's just really, really late to the game. Now, probably, what is all of a sudden excited Cathie Wood about Meta stock? My guess is it can't be Threads because Threads just came out a few days ago and she already had started buying Meta stock at that point. It's going to be something AI related. We know ARK Fund is really into the whole AI movement and what that can mean and those sorts of things. So it's going to be something they've researched on the AI side in regards to Meta and maybe making the business much more efficient, making ads a lot better for advertisers, right? So they spend more money, get more conversions. Something's got to be there, in my opinion, for her to buy Meta when it's up here trading where it's trading, okay? So that's Meta, okay? At the end of the day, folks, okay, we know the goods economy for the U.S. has been hit pretty substantially over the past year or so, right? Coming off of Rona, goods was everything, right? Ordering all this stuff on Amazon you probably didn't need. And obviously for the past year, we've kind of had like a mini goods recession, I would call it, right? Who's that hurt more than anybody? It hurts China because guess where everything gets made? China, pretty much, right? Then you've got some companies starting to, basically take production of certain products and move it over to India rather than China. That's something that obviously hurts them. And, you see how open they were to Yellen coming over and let's call it getting the relationship good. That just shows you that China's obviously in a weaker state right now. We got to see where commodities are at, right? Because if you want to know where inflation's heading, usually it's good to look at commodities, right? So I have a commodities watch list here, and commodities I care about, okay? And we can pull up a 1 year of these babies, and we can look at them across the board, right? So oats is flat on a 1 year basis here, right? Oh, actually, no, excuse me. Oats are down about 5.5%. Corn is down 20%. Lumber is down about almost 7% in the past year. Wheat's down, 26%. Natural gas is down a whopping 51 flipping flapjack in percent. Holy smokers, that's no jokers. Copper is up about 15%. Gold and silver really don't matter that much because they're not used that much for applications. Let's just call it that. Soybeans 6.5% up. Coffee down 23% on a 1 year basis. WTI down 26% on a 1 year basis. So, and if we look at GSG, this is a commodity in general index. If you don't want to follow a bunch of individual commodities, you can just follow GSG. Down about 12.5% in the past year, right? Which is going to bode very well for inflation numbers over time. Now, if at some point at the end of this year or in 2024, if you see those commodities go flying high again, then we could end up in a higher inflationary environment at some point in the back half of 2024 or 2025, right? But as long as those commodities stay, you have a few going up, you have a few going down, ultimately, not much is happening there, then we'll stay in a much lower, I can tell you, inflationary environment.